course. John, where do you, and without obviously giving spoilers, where would you like to see Jake?
Where would I like to see Jake end up?
Wow. You have to say,
I'm like, if I'm gonna have my own way, listen, nice little spot in Spain somewhere. No. I mean, he ends up the way he ends up. The way the show, the way they finished the show, the way it was ended is really just absolutely beautiful. I can't give away any spoilers, but couldn't get through the episode without getting emotional. It's really something. They really did such a fantastic job closing out the series, and it's really nice when you get to do that. So. That's always great. So Jake is right where he should be. He's right where I'm cool with where Jake is, but he's right where he should be, and you'll see why.
And speaking of, you said you were kind of choking up while getting to the last episode. Can you compare your reaction to like the original short and then like the first two episodes compared to reading the final?
I mean, when the show first started, it was all over the place, and then it became this really amazing, special thing. I don't know, you can't. It was a completely different project for me personally, because I just felt like I was in the dark a lot in the beginning of this show, and that's not a reflection on anybody else but me. And honestly, like everybody else was fine. Everybody else knew where the show was. I was kind of.
That's not totally true. I mean, really? even on the network side, they were like, we're still not sure what this is. We bought it. They're like, we're excited because the pilot did really well.
I'm not alone.
And then they bought it, and they're like, what did we buy?
Yeah.
So I think that first season, at least, there was a lot of sort of feeling out what it was, and there was a lot kind of taken for granted, like why is there a unicorn? Why is there a stretchy dog? And all those things we didn't explain, but you wanted us to explain.
And that's the thing. I'm trying to find out everything I can
to just have
of this world for me to make sense of it.
Right.
And everybody else was kind of I couldn't get that information. And as an actor, it frustrated the hell out of me. But and everybody else is kind of laughing it off, like, no, it's coming along. I'm like, you don't understand my manic, I've got to know,
right.
And so it was really difficult, but then now, I mean, still the land of Ooh, I've said it before, is such a grand place for these characters to live, and there's so many stories that you can tell through it that it doesn't matter if I don't know half of the universe, because as a person in that universe, you don't know half of those people anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So it's kind of. Yo, man, this show is like life.
I think 10 years later, it kind of makes more sense now.
Now, absolutely. I totally agree.
Was this where you always saw the series ending, or had it changed a lot over the years?
Oh, God, no. I mean, I thought we were going to get canceled every couple of weeks for season 1. So.
But you never had a finite ending in your head or like that? Or
we had images, sort of like a vignette that maybe we could hit for different characters, but that was sort of one of the early mandates we got. This is not a serialized show, but secretly we're like, it's a serialized show. We won't really get to that until the latter half. So there are sort of targets and questions that are set up. But that's not what is a question to me is not a question to you. Why didn't this one character show up? I don't really care about that character. Or we can't show everyone's fate. We just have to kind of pick what are the important ones. Ending a show, man, that's so hard, especially now. I think the pressure to have it be perfect is so high that you can't.
Yeah, and the ability for people and that pressure is also the ability for people to watch it over and over and over again. So it's under a much different kind of a microscope than than shows that have ended in the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like you guys are
Yeah, we could just use the
lot of
mash.
lot of loose ends. Yeah, right. You know, like just flying
But
away.
they're not all loose ends to me, though. It's like that's sort of like you don't really find out about everything in life. We don't all have endings. So
We shot the ending for Adventure Time in Topanga Canyon with helicopters and Alan Alda. And we, you know,
Jake spelling goodbye. And
And then, like you said, it's been like 10 years on the show, which is kind of insane. It's one of your most prominent roles aside from Bender, I'd say. And what is the hardest part about saying goodbye? And what is your favorite moment?
you know, it's really funny. When we ended the show, because we're done. Like the show it's wrapped. When the show ended, and I recorded the last episode that I did, and I left the studio, and I didn't realize how much of me was in Jake. And it just kind of it just hit me, it walloped me. And I didn't even see it coming. I was thinking like, oh well, show ends, and so and all of a sudden it was just bam, and I got really upset. And like I remember calling my wife and just being like, it's just like it's all right, and I was just like a babbling idiot, but it was, it really snuck up on me, like how emotionally connected I felt to Jake, and how I won't be able to do that anymore. And and there's been so many fun things, as far as doing Jake and doing the show. There's many instances, but it's great to play a magic doll. It's awesome. It's just awesome. And and everybody's been great on the show. Except that.
now I'm sad. Yeah.
it's time to plan the reunion show.
Huh?
It's time to plan the reunion.
Oh yeah, that's it.
10 years from now, everything gets repeated.
Of course.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, we're gonna get Jamie Farr on the show. Sorry.
Same question for you. What are your favorite moments as far as saying goodbye?
Favorite moments? Well, see, John has so many roles that he's done, and this has basically been my career. I'm just figuring out. But it is kind of hard to figure out like what project do you do after this. Like, I want it to be different and not trying to recapture it, because I want this to kind of stay discreet. Like it is a thing, and I don't want to step on it or try to revisit it too often. And it's like that was a period of time, and it existed, and now it can't go back. So that's kind of sad. But it's also like
You can never go back, brother.
That was in yard stay.
Yeah.
But we got an ending, which is like what a lot of shows don't get. We had plenty of time to come to an ending, so I feel like satisfied with how much time we did. So
With the amount of characters that you can't cover all of them, obviously, in 4 episodes, so there's no chance of no visitation, no spin-offs in mind with a certain character.
that's like more of a network question.
Yeah, it's an
I
idea.
could say something and then we're like, oh, that got announced. That's how I learned about so many things.
They're gonna do a Sanford and Son reboot with Flame Princess and Lemongrass.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the strangest thing. That's it. Yeah.
Tried to get out, they roped me back in.
I think the potential is there, and it just depends on what the network wants to do, really.
And Adam, as far as the Great Mushroom War, did you already have that in mind when you started? Like, because it's kind of alluded to in the opening crawl, but like when it happened, like you realize it's a post-apocalyptic world, it changes the whole perception of the show.
Right.
And so I was curious, like, did you have that in mind at first? And then for you, John, like, what did that mean when you understood, like, wow, what the kind of the change of where everything is from the location of the show?
I think like the original pilot might not have had that sort of post-apocalyptic DNA, but like really early on in season 1, I think once we started getting backgrounds from Ghost Shrimp, but also Penn really likes post-apocalyptic fishing, so that kind of affected the show. I almost Now it's like people are like, hey, it's fine if there's an apocalypse because it'll be like Adventure Time. It's like, no, it's the opposite. You're supposed to not want a post-apocalypse, but it did kind of give us like a texture that we can kind of build on, which was really nice. It's like a candy coating on Mad Max, sort of.
Wow, that's perfect. Candy coated, just like wow. Instead of eating the dog food, he's got pudding.
Yeah.
Remember that scene? I feed my dogs. I'm like, this looks like every morning. I'm like, this is the Mad Max dog.
They're wearing leather jackets.
Yes. No, but it's funny because that just helped me along, figuring out what the world was about and where they're coming from. That just any little tidbits. I always love that. I heard a thing. There was conspiracy, or not, whatever you call it, conspiracy, but people were saying that that it was a coma world. That Finn was in a coma.
Coma dream.
It was a coma dream. Yeah.
That might be every show ever.
That is every show. But that made sense. That made sense to me too, because the show was so goddamn weird that it was just like, okay, this is going to be. This is possible that this could be a fever dream in a coma, like just kid ain't gonna make it, but the story is like wow.
Well, that's even darker than we
I know.
used to be.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I went there, didn't I? Too much Dungeons and Dragons as a child.
Thank you.
Just really quickly,
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll do that one first. This one right there.
Thank you guys.
And that one.
Big fans.
This one. And then this one.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Right? There you go.
Thank you.
Sorry, that's what I really want to do is direct. But no. Ridiculous. Awesome.
Pounding. Call me the wingman cause I'm on his team. Higher than the flyest spaceship you ever seen. Hotter than a sunbeam cause it's so real. Call him Mr. Wonderful cause he is that deal. The night is darkest just before the dawn. And the dawn is coming quick and crack is coming with T-Nick. Yeah.